basically there's people that were given chocolates or some kind of snack and then told to resist.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, so basically, long story short, those who were given the treat were able to exercise more willpower, okay?
Yeah.
And he tries to show through this that, well, that means that we have a finite reservoir of willpower. If you believe you have finite willpower, then you're more likely to operate at a lesser level. But if you believe that you have an infinite willpower, then you're more likely to operate at a high level.
See, this is the thing I was saying to you before we started filming. I don't believe in that limited willpower stuff. You know the judges study that we were talking about before, or for example the radish thing or whatever it is.
Yeah.
There are limits to the mind. That mindset that there's limits to the mind will actually create those limits. But obviously there's some factors like your energy, your sleep, and your nutrition or whatever it is. But other than that, think of somebody whose daughter has gone missing. Is there ever a moment like 2 o'clock in the morning, okay, my willpower's gone down, I'm going to go to sleep now? No, they have a relentless willpower. So I think some of the studies that you're citing, and one of the things that we should talk about is you're doing MMA and you're doing academia, right? So you're expanding the bandwidth, you're increasing your capacity for willpower in these particular domains. So these things are very, very important. So when you did that, if you put the limit, look, I'm an academic, I'm doing a PhD, I'm doing Azhar, because you hadn't finished Azhar by that time, you're working on some debates, you're doing this, you're doing that, and for the fight, then you think, no, that I have a limited willpower. But clearly you had a willpower for MMA.
I can see the argument there. Look, on the example of if someone's daughter got lost or something, I do think there's a point where they will get exhausted. I think there's a point where anyone can get exhausted. They would literally go to sleep.
No, because there's a difference between exhaustion and depletion of willpower. I think we have to make this distinction.
But there may even be a depletion of willpower over like 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years. So like, for example, the first day she got lost, the willpower might be, let's say, 100. But the 20th or 50th, maybe, let's say, 85. Then let's say 20 years later, it's gone down to 50, for example. So there's that. But here's how I would respond to this bit about, for example, when I was juggling different things, different activities and stuff like that, and how this theory actually helped me with that. Because it taught me or made me realize the importance of strategic rest. So for example, like when you realize you have a capacity, you don't put everything on your plate. So you start realizing, okay, I'm doing 1 task, 2 tasks, 3 tasks. That my bandwidth is at this level, and if I put another task, I will function at a lesser level on these tasks.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to just leave these tasks here, and I'm going to have to rest here, 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 and here. The way you start thinking about it is like petrol in a gas tank, okay?
Yeah.
Like, let's say I'm driving a car, or whatever it may be, and you realize that if I keep moving around, I have a limited resource pool, and if I use it all up on this or that or the other, helping this person, helping that person, then I'm spreading myself too thin, and it will lead to mental exhaustion, psychological exhaustion, make me closer to burnout, and therefore I won't be as effective.
This, you may be speaking about hyper-focus and scattered focus, because we know this, right? We know that if you try and focus on too many different things at one given moment, then you're not going to do that well in any of those particular things. But what I think we are disagreeing about is the capacity of and the depth of mental capabilities and how far they actually go when it comes to greatness. Because look, you gave the example earlier, we were speaking about David Goggins, right? And coming out of your comfort zone and doing these types of things. These are linked to your beliefs. Can I do this or can I not do this? And those beliefs are set where? By the external environment or by your internal architecture? It's the internal architecture, right?
Say both.
We can say that, for example, if you're someone that suffers from type 2 diabetes, that will affect your willpower. Would we agree on that?
Yeah.
To an extent, it'll affect your willpower. At the same time, we also believe that the meaning you give something will give you an elastic range from which you're allowed to put yourself through a certain kind of suffering. What the hell is... What is